Yo, yo, yo! I'm Grumpy Granny, the eBay queen, flipping treasures and now the rap scene, sourcing deals, packing right in the reselling game. I'm shining bright. Be on the lookout, that's the key. Grumpy Gran is on a flipping spree. From YouTube to eBay, I'm in control. Finding those deals, bolo, bolo! From thrifting addiction, I built my name. Waiting for donuts, it's a numbers game. But I stay humble, it's all about the grind. Persistence and passion are intertwined. Be on the lookout, that's the key. Grumpy Gran is on a flippin' spree. From YouTube to eBay, I'm in control. Finding those deals, bolo! 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 Quick, grab those 501 Levi's! Well, hello, boys and girls. It is Friday Night Live. And look, Rob, I saw your little message there, and I thought, well, now I just have to put the rap video on because I knew that would bring you lots of joy, especially for you. Did you enjoy it? He did pop in earlier, Rob. It was in nice and early and said he's got his simmer frame revved up and ready to rumble up the ramp. Yes. Hello, Sandra. I hope Sandra's feeling much better. She did have a little bit of a tumble during the week. We're all very worried about her, so I hope she's feeling good. And we have John in the house too. Hiya, John. Hope you've had a good day too. We have Brad in the house. Hey, Brad. Great video today. Anyone that hasn't watched Two Aussie Thrifters, get over to their channel and watch their latest video. Very enlightening it is, I must say. Sandra Blondie, hi, hi, hi. Oh, look, see? Give him the rap video and that's all he needs. Look, I tell you what, I've got a new little bit of a colouring thing going on here. And you might get by the temperature gauge because it's bloody hot here. And I have been waiting all day for this one thing because I don't very often change my type of drink, but when it is really hot like this, there is nothing better than an ice cold beer. It has to be in a stubby though, because I think it stays colder in a stubby. And Brad says, might have to pack some lunch. It's a long video. Yeah, I didn't actually, well, look, that being said, it took me like 3 times as long to watch as it should have because I kept getting interrupted and I'd have to go off and do something and come back. So, yeah, it did take a long time, but, well, worth the watch. The Aussie Nurse Slipper says, yuck, evening, yuck beer. You don't like beer, Graham? Oh, no, it's good on a hot day. On a hot day, it's the only, I very rarely, like I don't drink a lot of beer, but on a hot day like this, nothing better. So I'm just going to take a couple of mouthfuls because I've been waiting for this all day. That's good. I could actually scull the whole thing, but I wouldn't want to shock you all by me doing that. Maybe another time when it's hot again, I might do that for you. Good evening, Cindy Brown. I hope you are well. Sandra Blondie says, yep, love a beer on a hot day. Yeah, it's got to be hot and the beer's got to be icy cold. And yeah, I'll drink a can at a push, but it doesn't feel as cold if you're drinking it in a can, I don't think. Sandra Blondie's telling me to scull. I could have kept going. John says, Brad, have you not been to one of these nights? 3 hours and counting is not unusual. Very true. This is very true. G'day, Jen. Good to have you in. Well, exciting things have been happening this week, let me tell you. Yeah. So I'm hoping you can all hear me okay. Somebody want to give me a thumbs up or something? And let me know that you are all hearing me okay. Brad says, haha, lives are a bit different time-wise. They definitely are. Definitely are that. And the first thing I'm going to do is, so you will all know that I haven't got a car at the moment. which, you know, look, I'm just lucky that I live in such a great town and I have some really good friends. Oh, Octo, as if I'm going to take any notice of that, honestly. Oh, dear. Brad's going to do the right thing. He's going to give me a thumbs up. Yeah, I'm lucky that I live in such a great small community because I've had people that have picked me up and taken me to the post office, even on a hot day like today. So I really do appreciate that. Thank you, Carmel. Thank you, Christine. Thank you, Margaret. Very much appreciated. Octo says, I'm surprised to have a voice here. Yes, you do. Unlike another live stream you tried to join today and you didn't get a voice. The Aussie Nurse Flipper, Octo. Rob says, subscribe to Gigi's channel because Grumpy Granny's got more sass than your morning coffee. Very true. This is very true. Rob says, don't confuse a near miss as being neighbourly. Yeah, no, very true. So, here we go. Our little, well, dare I say, we call her our little cannibal friend from the UK to PNG to Australia and on Gigi's Friday Night Live. Woohoo! So I have a little picture to share with you right now. So we all know that Gigi hasn't got a car right now, but stage 1 of getting a car has been reached. And I'll share it with you. So this is stage 1 of me getting a car. And what is this, you may ask? This is my daughter, dear Brittany, and she picked up her new car today, which is fantastic because that means I get her old car. I just have to organise to get it from Mildura to Donald, which is like 3 hours away. But anyway, if I can't get it beforehand, they are coming up here next weekend and they will bring it up for me. So that is excellent. Hey, Octo says, Graham. Octo says, I wonder if they're still playing Swallow the Leader. What? Okay, I'm going to have another swig now because it is so hot. Like, I can't even try and tell you. And it's still really hot, like, at this time of the night. I've still got the air conditioner on. Oh, that is so refreshing, let me tell you. So, shall I show you my second exciting stuff from this week? Here we go. So here is me. What's Rob saying there? Join Thrift and Trick with Blake. I'm sure he's busy filling his diary. And yeah, your daughter is a good one. Yeah. Oh, look, I mean, I've got to give her money for it. Don't get me wrong, but it just makes it much easier. Like, I don't have to worry about trying to get finance or, you know, waiting until I've saved up more money. I can just pay her off. So that works out well. Octo says, it's hot here as well. Your damn global warming is bubbling my ocean. You think so? It's all our fault? Yes, could be. Anyway, I had a visitor this week, which was fantastic. And so this is my brother, Michael. And, you know, I mean, I've given you boys and girls bits of stories about my newfound brothers and my newfound family and whatnot. So this is my brother, Michael, and he is 12 months older than me. So Michael has 2 brothers in his family. So there's 3 they're full brothers. So there's 3 of them. And I haven't met the oldest one because he lives in Western Australia. And then there's Michael. And then 4 months younger than me is Shane, which you will see at some point in an upcoming thrifting video. I've got him on film. So there you go. So Michael came to visit. The fun thing about Michael coming to visit, well, I don't know if it was fun, actually. So he took me to lunch. He and his lovely wife, Wendy, took me to lunch. And they live in Melbourne. And I think I've told you the story about how this is Michael that lives in the same street, and then we found a new brother and he lives in the same street as Michael. Like, they can actually literally see each other's houses from, I'll just unshare that. Yeah, they can see each other's houses if they go out the front. So, yeah, pretty strange. Well, Michael decided, because he didn't grow up with our father, because we all share the same father, and he didn't grow up with him. So his mum moved him and his two brothers away when he was about 4. So he hasn't known a lot about his life. So he decided to go over and actually interview him for an hour and ask him lots of different questions. And I found out some information, because every time I've tried to actually ask him, my birth father, every time I've tried to ask him personal questions, he's like, what do you want to know that for? Like he's never wanted to answer. So Michael actually got him to answer a few things. So I found out a few things, some things, maybe could have been left unsaid, but there it is. So I'll catch up with the chat in a minute, but I'll just finish this little story first. Pardon me, now I'm going to burp because I've had that beer. So we found out that he was a coach. He rode, I can't say that, can I? He did road cycling races. I was going to say he rode road cycles, but no, he won quite a lot of, cycling races. Turns out he said that he was the coach of the national cycling team back in the day. Well, I kind of took that with a grain of salt and thought, yeah. But anyway, I found out last night that he actually was. So I found it on the internet. He actually coached one bloke, as he said, to be a world champion, and he coached 2 others to be Aussie champions. And he also coached a tandem bike ride with a how do you say it? Unsighted person and a sighted person on the bike. So yeah, that was a bit of fun that he said that. He did also say that in his job, so he was a plumber, which apparently he was very good at plugging up holes, and he was a plumber. So he did tell us that he spent 3 months in the UK in the 70s. That's a bit of a worry. Knowing the lifestyle that he led over the years, look, I won't be surprised if there's another sibling doesn't pop up from the UK, but, who knows? Anyway, the news is that at the very end of the video, of the recording that Michael did, he asked him, he said, so are there any other women and that from the town they came from, are there any other women that you had relationships with that there could be kids? And he turned around and said, oh, well, I think you'll find if you look up, and I can't say the name yet because we haven't got any of this confirmed. I think if you look up Bloop Bloop name in Carnegie in Melbourne, after I came to Melbourne, you'll find someone. And so Michael actually at that point on the recording sounds like he's having a stroke because he was just in such shock. And he apparently at the same time as the other new brother, Colin, was growing in his mother's womb and being birthed, he was also meeting up with Elaine in Carnegie, and she had a son. And so there's another one somewhere. So we're up to 8. So there you go. So that's a little bit of fun, isn't it, boys and girls? Well, yeah, a bit of fun. Bit of fun, I have to say. Now, I will give you his best quotes. So there were 2 things that he said, and I thought, yep, these are his best quotes. He said, at one point when Michael was asking him about, like, our mothers, all the women, he said, I don't remember, probably a part of my life I wanted to forget. Gee, thanks, Dad. And then he said, in the next breath, he said, "Oh, these things happen, I suppose." Do they? Only to you, mate. Only to you. So there you go. So that's my big story for the week. And now I better go back and catch up on that chat. Graham says, Octo, come here to Brisbane. It's hot here, 2:30 nights. And where are you? Do tell me, where are you? I can't remember where you are. Where are you? Octo, you probably remember better than me. Brad says, definitely can see the resemblance. Thank you. Yes. I mean, I think so. Because I was 35 before I found my birth mother. And I didn't meet her for 6 months after I made contact with her. Because I wanted to get to know her a bit before I met her. Because what if we couldn't even talk to each other and had nothing in common? So she sent me photos. And I still remember that day when I ripped open the envelope. And I was like near hysterical. And I've got this half-ripped envelope, and I'm looking at it, I'm shaking, and I'm screaming, and my ex-husband's, well, he was my husband at the time, running inside, and he's going, what's wrong? And I'm going like this. He's going, what's wrong? What's wrong? And I said, that's my nose. And like, so I was 35 the first time I actually saw a photo of someone that, other than my kids, because my kids look like me, but yeah, the first time I'd seen someone else that actually resembled me. And you don't actually realise that's something you're missing until you see it. Like, it's weird because you are so used to, it's not like my mum and dad, it's not like they were unlike me, but like I could have been, you know, there were no features that they could say, oh, you know, you've got your mother's nose or you've got your father's eyes or something like that. And so, yeah, that becomes quite an exciting thing, I can tell you. Graham says, it is the humidity which gets you. Yeah, I'm not a fan of humidity at all. Anthony, hello. Evening all. Hot here as well. Apparently it's a good time to paint the toilet and bathroom, according to the boss. Well, it will dry quick. Although, isn't there something if you paint it when it's too hot, it stays sticky? Or is that with older paint, not with the newer paint? Maybe. I don't know. Yes, I like that, Graham. Graham says, Gigi's father, the adventures of a plumber's mate. Yeah, well, he was the plumber and he was doing a bit of plumbing, all right. Well, that's amazing. Yeah, it is quite interesting, isn't it? Yes, he was the town bike, Octo. You know how it was a badge of honour back in the day for the young men to go and sow their wild oats? Well, he sowed his wild oats. Unfortunately, he sowed his wild oats while he was married with like 4 other women. So, you know, what do you say about that? Anyway, because I was laughing because he was telling Michael how he loved, that was how he got into the road bike racing, was after Michael's mother left him, he lived with his brother. And so he used to ride, and that was out of town a bit. So he used to ride the bike to work every day. And Michael said to him, why did you ride the bike to work every day? And he said, because I loved it. It was great. And here's me, you know, when I'm listening to the recording last night and I'm going, yeah. I'm sure the bike was much easier to hide around the back of the houses you were going in than a car would have been parked out the front or in the driveway. That's my thought on that one. How did you find out about him? So when I met my birth mum, so in your adoption information, they will give you non-identifying information about your birth parents. And also, identifying information about your birth mother and then non-identifying information about your birth father. So it was pretty easy because that information told me that he was a plumber. He was 24, I think 24. He was young, so 24, a plumber, and he lived in Hamilton, which is wasn't a big city or anything at the time. And my birth mum also gave me a newspaper cutting the first day I met her, with a football team on it and a name underlined. I didn't even take any notice of the name that day. I wasn't ready for that. Like, I was meeting her for the first time and then going through the whole thing of meeting the 2 brothers that on her side of the family. So I've actually got an extra couple because she had 2 sons as well. Yeah, so that was a whole big thing. I didn't want to deal with that, and also because I knew that my birth father was married with 2 kids already, because it does say that. It says he's married with 2 kids when I was born, but actually it was almost 3 because Shane came along 3 months later. So I didn't want to deal with any of that. So I just put it all away in an envelope, and then when the day came that I decided, which was 2019, that I decided that I actually would seriously have a look, and I got it all out, and I've looked at it and I've gone, crikey, I've got all the information I need. I've got his name. There's not going to be very many plumbers that were in Hamilton at that time. So I got on the electoral rolls, found him on there, and then Michael, luckily, he'd already done a DNA test, and so he was already on there, had a family tree on there, and I spotted it and thought, yep, that's him. So I contacted him and I said, did your father play football for the Hamilton Imperials in the 60s? And he said, oh, I don't know, because I didn't grow up with him. And he goes, oh, why? Thinking, oh, don't ask me why. And I said, oh, I think we might be related. And then there was a bit of a pause in the messaging. And then he said, how? And I said, it's probably not a conversation we should have over text message. Here's my number. Can you ring me? And I hadn't done a DNA test at that stage. So this was in, I'm going to say this was August, September, around there, July, August, September. And my children had already said that for Christmas they were buying me a DNA test. So that was going to happen then. Anyway, Michael rings me and he said, okay, so and I sent him that before all this happened, I sent him the picture because, like, I could have been anyone. So I sent him the football picture through Ancestry, or I posted it on Ancestry, and he was able to access it and look at it and said, yes, that was his dad. And and then he goes, oh, okay, so where do you fit in? And I said, I think I might be your sister. And, like, of all the responses I was expecting, I was not expecting him to say, oh, fantastic, I've always wanted a sister. How wonderful. And I get on marvellously with Mike, and I get on marvellously with Shane, so it is great. And from what, I mean, I've only had one conversation with my newest brother, Colin, who we've only just found out about him in the last couple of months. I've talked to him on the phone once, and he seems to have quite a good sense of humour too, like the rest of us. And, yeah, so I think we'll all fit in quite well. So there you go. So then the kids said, well, okay, we probably need to get this confirmed before Michael was going to go back to my birth father and ask him about me. We thought best we get the DNA confirmed. So, the kids got me the DNA test early, and so we did that, and it had arrived back in November-ish, I'm going to say. And, confirmed that we were siblings, and or half siblings technically, but who cares about the half when you've got great brothers like these, the ones that I've met. So, so all confirmed. How it could be. I just don't know who I'm going to be related to next. You just never know. Never know. John says, oh, no, are you signed up to UK Ancestry? Well, no, but do I need to be signed up separately to UK Ancestry? Wouldn't the DNA results get transferred around the whole thing? I mean, I've got access to UK Ancestry, because most of my birth family came from the UK and Ireland, so, But wait, there's more. Exactly. That's just what it's like. But wait, there's more. Well, I did neglect to tell you one thing. So also on this recording, when Mike asks him about Colin and meeting Colin's mum and how that all went down, he says, and so we know Colin's our sibling because he's done a DNA test, right? But our birth father had previously said, when Colin went and saw him, had previously said that he believes his older brother is also his. And so there's an older brother, then there's two more, and then there's Colin. So he believes the older brother is his. And I've been saying, yeah, well, what are the chances that the other two aren't? Maybe. So during this little interview, when Michael asked him about Colin's mum and how they met and all that sort of stuff, he said, oh, yeah, and Mike goes, and so you believe that Colin's older brother is yours as well? And he goes, yes, and probably one of his sisters too. I'm a bit disappointed in that, though, because I like being the only girl and having all these brothers. But I might have to have a sister. Who would have believed? His name wasn't Barry, was it? Close. Robert was his name. Actually sounds like my dad. Oh, yeah, well. Yeah, well, technically, so I've got two half-brothers on my mother's side, my birth mother's side. And then I've got 1, 2, 3, possibly 4, 5, 6. And now the new one that is mentioned, 7. So that would make 10, including me. Oh, dear. It's funny. We need this back in time to work. What? Well, apparently, when he met my birth mum, so she worked on the sheep station, and I'm sure she told me she was a nanny. But anyway, he said she was the cook. Well, doesn't matter either way. And he was out fixing all the windmills, and he was out there on the second day. He was still there, and she must have by then looked at him enough and thought, well, he's a bit of all right. Apparently he was pretty good looking back in the day, and he was a very, very good footballer. And so back in the day, being a really good footballer, even in that local area, it was like being a star, because that was, star quality. So got the girls, had no problem getting the girls, apparently. So she went out and asked him would he like a cup of tea. So he went inside, had the cup of tea, and so now we are calling a cup of tea, having relations. So that's apparently how it happened. But, of course, and they had a relationship for about 15 months. Because every time he was out there every week fixing the windmills, and she lived on the station, so she was having this relationship every time he popped in, and thought that they were in a relationship. And then when she got pregnant, she thought he would that'd be great. They loved each other. He would marry her. And, la-di-da-di-da. And he turned around and said to her, oh, well, I don't know what you're going to do, but I'm already married with 2 kids. Like, honestly. And it didn't stop there, because then he was also having relations with Colin's mum. Like, she was married. Colin's father that he grew up with was his mate from work. They worked together. And so I don't know how he managed to get away from work or sneak around there. But anyway, so she had 6 kids in 6 years, 3 of which very likely could belong to my father and not their dad that they grew up with, who probably thankfully has passed away, so won't have to deal with any of this. However, the mother is still alive. She's denied it all so far, but Colin's only had 1 conversation with her, so it remains to be seen what she says when he goes back the next time. Vaya says, loving the soap opera. I know, it's so exciting, isn't it? The best thing about, one of the best things about doing the live stream on a Friday night is because all this stuff that happens to me during the week, and if I'm not getting a chance to talk to other people about it, because, like as if Octo would be interested in listening to me. Blake would listen to me if I tried, but, we can't be boring him too much with it. But, like, I get to come here and, like, just get it all out. It's great. Octo says, hands up in the chat if you aren't related to Gigi. Yeah, it's a bit like that. Jason, hello. Hey, Gigi, do you have returns on your shop? Yes. I've turned it on, but don't even get an option if I even want the item back. If I get a return, does that mean I have to pay for postage? Well, it depends on what sort of a return it is, Jason. So if you get a request for a return because it's an item not as described, so because it's got a defect or you said it was teal and it was actually blue, according to the buyer, that sort of thing, then yes, you're liable for the return postage. And you also need to refund the original postage back to them when you refund them once they return it back to you. However, if they're returning it because it is the wrong size and they didn't read the measurements, or they just don't like it, so, they've just changed their mind, they've had a change of heart, then you pay the postage to get it back. But then when you refund them, you only refund them the cost of the item. You don't have to give them both lots. You've turned it on, but you don't get an option even if I want the item back. So it depends. You need to go into your settings, because if you've got your settings allowing eBay to handle the whole return thing, you won't get any say in anything. You won't even get a say in who the carrier is that's going to bring it back. So you need to go in. There's a little tick box at the bottom somewhere, and you tick that to say in that section that you want to handle it and you want to be the one to actually send them the label. But look, I would say the first port of call with any return is that you ask that buyer for a photo. If they're going to tell you that it's broken, that it doesn't play in the DVD player, if it's anything, say, could you send me a photo, please? Because, we do miss things sometimes. So there are occasions where, it is not described. There's not much you can do if they want to return it because it doesn't fit. But then depending on the cost of it, depending on how much they've paid for it and the cost of it, sometimes it's just easier to refund them for the cost of the item and be done with it and let them keep it, because by the time you pay the postage back, it's just not financially worth it. So, yeah. Hope that didn't confuse you too much. Waving. You're putting your hand up because you're not related to me. Is that what it is? Christian. What's up, TG? Sorry, I had no idea you were live. What do you mean you had no idea I was live tonight? I'm live every Friday night. No. You did know because you didn't nag at me. He's just tricking, Christian is. Just tricking. Vaya says, are you, Christian, what are you doing? We'll organise next week or the week after. Do you want to come on live with me? You can come on with me. Vaya says, 2 Aussie thrifters, king of the side hustles, ahead of his time. Yes, I quite agree. Very astute. Octo says, Jason, if you turn them on, it's an automatic acceptance. You get to choose if it's buyer or seller funded. Yes, exactly. So you can have returns turned on, but their buyer pays returns, or you can have free returns, which is where you pay. Yeah. I'm in Fremantle, West Australia. Yeah, it probably is hot over there. I've been to Fremantle, actually. I liked Fremantle when I was over there back in the day when I was in Young Farmers. There's one down. That was damn good, I have to say. Thoroughly enjoyed that. Apparently so. Yes, you are. Christian. Have you found any good plushies this week, Christian? Any squishy mellows? Sandra says, the paint dries too quickly for a good seamless finish. There you go. There you go, Anthony. You do not have to paint the bathroom and the toilet. We've gotten you out of it because it's too hot. I thought there was something about that because, yeah, it dries too quick to get it to how it's supposed to be. Graham says there's a serial killer in America and he used a bicycle as his getaway vehicle. Yeah. Well, nothing would surprise me at this stage. Yeah, GG, the original Nigerian prince. Exactly. So true, so true. You should write a book. It's also interesting, yeah. And look, I've tossed the idea around a few times and then something else happens. And I think, but I do need, so what I'm actually going to do, and look, it's one of the good things about telling the stories on here is that there is a record of it. I'm going to burp because I've sculled that beer, but pardon me. Yeah, so what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to start writing some short stories, which I have done in the past. I've done stories about my family and had them published in genealogy magazine. So, yeah, I'm good with that. And I thought I'll just write the stories and then, you know, maybe it'll all collate together and finish up in some sort of record. Good on you, Michael. Yeah, good on you, Michael. That's what I say too. Mind you, I do have to say, Vaya, it was, if you're listening to the tape, like the recording, that's an old word to use, isn't it? Listening to the tape, because we don't use tapes for that sort of thing anymore. But listening to it, honestly, because I was nearly wetting myself. I was talking to him last night afterwards, and I said, after I listened to it, and I said, you literally sounded like he was having a stroke. And he's still trying to ask Robert more questions, but he's so stunned that there's another, that we've got this new sibling that we don't know about, that is like literally like talking like he's having a stroke. It was so funny. When's my autobiography coming out? Yeah, it'd be a bestseller, wouldn't it? Now, the trouble with my life story is, people aren't going to believe it, I reckon. Like, if you tried to put my life into a TV series, the writers would be getting told that's too fantasy. Like, it's too. Nobody lives like that. No, that doesn't happen. That's that's what I reckon anyway. I've said that. I've got some stories and a half. Please send your social security number and bank details. Yes. Forrest Fallon's an autobiography, basically half done of the YouTube trend. Exactly. And I get to say it as it feels instead of trying to write it like, you know, write it properly and put the grammar and all the rest in and, you know, get the story to flow. I can actually just say it how it is. Octo says, sounds like it went smoother than when they found out about the illegitimate BG son. Oh, yeah. I worked with the niece's husband, and that was an interesting time. I bet. Oh, everything was shoved under the carpet. And, like, even for me, so I was lucky because my mum and dad, I can't remember not knowing that I can't remember ever not knowing that I was adopted. I've always known that I was adopted. But they told me a bedtime story, even from a baby, all the way through, about how they went down to the baby home and they went upstairs to the second floor and walked in the door on the right, and there was this big room full of all these pink cots. And they walked around and they looked in each one of those cots. And they looked at the pretty little baby sleeping in there, and then they got to me and they looked in there and they just knew they had to take me home. And so, I mean, that's just, it's such a beautiful way to tell a child that they are adopted. And so I always felt, I didn't ever feel rejected by my birth mum. I felt specially chosen by my mum and dad. And, you know, I mean, look, they told my brother the same story, except it had blue cots in it. So, you know, and it's a load of crap because that's not how they didn't get to pick me. They received a letter from the baby home saying that there was a baby ready for you. The baby will be ready in 2 weeks' time. And they jumped in the car the next day and went down to Melbourne and picked me up. Because they so badly wanted me. But yeah, I mean, it's just so lovely to grow up feeling like you are specially chosen, not that you're being rejected by your birth mum. And I understood. birth mothers in those days had no choice. And she was from a good Catholic family, so total shame. Absolute total shame. And unless there was no social security back then, so unless you had a family that was willing to support you financially, you had no choice. And they basically told those girls that, like, they didn't tell them that. See, I was given to I'm sort of getting a bit sidetracked, aren't I? My mum and dad got me in February. I was about 6 weeks old, I think. But my adoption didn't go through till October. So she had all that time if she had wanted to get me back. Well, she was married in between there. Like in that time, she actually married someone else that she stayed with for the rest of his life. So, like, if she had realised, if she hadn't have listened to what she was told by the nuns, which was, it's all done with, you've got no more rights, blah, 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 then she could have come and got me back. I mean, I think I was in the best place for me, and I'd be a very different person if I had have grown up with her. But, yeah, interesting, isn't it? Yeah. Very interesting. Brad says, good enough for a TV script. Oh, yeah, I don't know if they'd believe it, would they? The man legitimately responsible for the population of Victoria. True. Almost. Graham says, I live near where the Bee Gees grew up. Cool. Does that mean you have a high voice too? Was it the environment? Christian says, it's like that Adam Sandler movie where he's got like 100 kids. I forgot the name. I don't think I've watched that. Oh, I'll have to have a look because I don't think I've watched that one because I'm not a huge, there's a couple of Adam Sandler movies I like, but I'm not a huge Adam Sandler fan. G'day, Brendan. Brendan Morris says, have I stumbled on a Downton Abbey cross-country practice fan fin stream? Yeah, something like that. I'm just telling my life story. There's always something interesting that I've got to tell. Maybe. Exactly, maybe. Graham says, gee, I think I should have been interested in playing football. Well, that's right, Graham. Yep, the footballers got the girls, let me tell you. Yep. Got the girls. I'm invested in this now. I need updates in the future. Oh, you get updates, all right. I'm good at doing that. I do give updates. Some of the boys and girls have heard lots of the stories before. Recommence Dave, hello. Evening, Gigi and everyone. Are you sharing your latest script of Days of Our Lives? Yes, I am. Lots of exciting things have happened this week, Dave. Okay. The thing when you drink beer is, though, cold beer on a hot day, you kind of have to scull it because, it gets too hot. So, yeah, hence why I'm sculling it. Oop. Mind you, but I probably will have to, turn the mic off and stuff and go and have a, go to the pad of my nose at some point because I'm drinking beer. Peachy, you're in Phuket. Yay! How's the weather over there? Is it hot? Because it's hot here. It's getting hot. Are you having a good time? I hope you're enjoying it. There you go. Rob was in Freo this afternoon. Everyone's in Freo. Pardon me. I went over and stayed on a farm near Fremantle when I was about, I'm going to say 19, and I was in Young Farmers. And, you just got to go all over the place and stay with people that you really didn't know very well and their families, and they could have been serial killers and you didn't know. Where do you live, Rob? A place that starts with M. I know that much. Far-fetched bio Selva. Yeah, true. Very true. Mandurah. I'm down in Mandurah. Is that how you say it? Mandurah? Is it Mandurah or Mandurah? You better correct me. John says, autobiography title, possibly. And then there were 4, no, 6, maybe 8. Yes, I like that. That's very clever. Very clever. Rob says, don't give Australia Post ideas. Sorry we missed you. Your child is ready for collection after 4 p.m. Oh, that's funny. That is funny. Love it. That's funny. Octo says, imagine the alternate universe if your birth mum got you back. You could have been doing a podcast with Uncle Wayno. Oh dear. I'm going to lose my shit soon. Hello, Anthony. Oh, look, I've lost the plot already, and it's only 10:15. I haven't even been going for an hour, and I've already lost the plot. Good to have you in. Hello, Anthony. How are you, mate? Says Octo, and he's good. He says it's a hot day, freezing one. I would have said freezing your balls off, but like if you want to say nips, well, you go for it. Yeah, it's like nearly 40 degrees here, so see, I've got the gauge tonight. Look. So it's about here. So I'm going to say it's like 98 your temperature and nearly 40 mine. So, yeah, that was clever of me to put the temperature gauge, wasn't it? So now I don't have to look it up. Graham says, good one, Octo, but would not be many podcasts with one. Well, that's right. I'd be saying to Wayno, are you ready to do the podcast? And he'd be saying, oh, no, I can't be soft today. Oh, dear. Although I suppose we could set it up. If I got it set up, we could mount a camera and film him on the couch. Perhaps. Yep. See, he's been gone that much. Christian wants to know, where's Uncle Wayno these days anyway? Yes, true. Who knows? Well, look, I know he's moving at some point, so I'm not quite sure when he's moving. But he's probably, packing, maybe. Downsizing. Octo says he's transitioning, Christian. He goes by Auntie Wayno now. Anthony suggesting Wayna. Oh, yeah, I'll have to say that to you next time. Hi, Auntie Wayna. Yeah, I like the Wayna. The Wayna's good. I like the Wayna. Yep. It's good. Oh, look, I've dribbled a bit. Can't be having the beer, wasting the beer. Anthony says it could be called the Backyard Bicycle Flipper Podcast Tales of GG's dad. Yeah, I kind of like a couple of times I've had thoughts that maybe I should do that could be my next side hustle, is I should start a podcast about being adopted. And then, I'm sure there's plenty of adopted people and even parents that had to give their kids up that would like to come and tell their stories. Whether it's because they're still looking for their child or parent, or whether it's because they just would like to tell their stories. And I'm kind of thinking that could be a bit of a go. Yeah, maybe. What do you think? What do you think of that idea? Would it only be people that were adopted and their families that would listen to that sort of content? Or do you think that would be something that everyone would listen to? Tell me. And then, yeah, I'll call it the Backyard Bicycle Flipper. Yeah. It's a bit early to be talking about mounting. It is. Catch GG before she falls off the perch. Like and subscribe for a comedic lifeline. Exactly. Anthony says it has to become feminine like in Spanish. Oh, yeah, of course. Yes, true. Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I guess because you guys would learn Spanish at school and stuff like that. We don't learn Spanish. They teach us stupid languages like French at school. What languages did everyone else learn at school? I learned French. I was quite good at French. I got an A++ one year for French. Uncle Wayno sleeping on the couch? Yes. Waynona. Waynona. Hi, Auntie Waynona. Dave says, Nelson probably ate everything, including... Yeah, probably. Yeah. Yeah, you'd have to make sure that you pack the camera up after each time, or that'd be the end of the... during it, wouldn't it? Peachy says, my oh my goodness, I'm getting dyslexic again. My fiance currently works with kids that cannot live with their parents. Yeah, and it's hard. And so my daughter's son, the one that I showed you earlier with the car, so her son, she got him when he was 10 weeks old. And so we've been in that system, and we fought DHS to keep him because they were, after COVID, they were going to shift him, and it wasn't happening. We'd had him for like 3 years by then. You're not taking him, but the boy, you know what would that do to a child that gets shifted? And but yeah, when you see a lot of the trauma and the good on her, because it's hard, you know, like it's. And I think there's some really great DHS workers out there. Our last one was absolutely, God bless her. She was fantastic. But we had a couple of doozies too that just, they had policies in certain order and they wanted those policies filled. I don't know why, whether they had a quota or something. Yeah. Bea says, I'm sure there are heaps of US adoption podcasts, but perhaps not so many from a regional Oz perspective. Well, this is very true. This is very true. And maybe not so many where you just keep multiplying siblings. Every week there's a new one. Christian says, you have enough days during the week to be doing another podcast? No, not really. I mean, I kind of figure something like that, though, a podcast. So it'd be different to doing the reselling podcast where you kind of have to learn the stuff you're talking about. Like I've learned it by being a reseller, but talking about adoption would be simple. Telling my story is simple because it's there. It's part of me. So yeah. Anthony says, I learned Spanish and Italian, 2 languages. Ooh. Is that standard over there for you guys to learn 2 languages in the US? Rob says, what exciting finds have you found in the death pile? Oh, banana in pajamas over there. I found a really nice pair of black Levi jeans. And they've got a big hole in the ass, but they'll make great cut-offs. So I'm not worried. But I'm not going to cut them off this year. I am going to cut them off this year, but I'm not going to probably list them this year. I'll leave them for next year coming up. What else have I found? I found some really cool jewelry, and I found some watches, and what else have I found? Haven't found any Skylanders. A video camera that I completely forgot that I bought. Like, you know, one of those old school ones. So, yeah, I have to... And I can't test it because I haven't been able to get the batteries for it or a tape. So, I'm going to do it as is, like, you know, how it goes. What else did I found? Oh, a couple of cameras, you know, the little old clickies. Yeah, nothing too exciting. I've found a few nice tops that I've got lined up to list this week that I'd completely forgotten that I'd bought. So that was a bit of fun. But my rule is, you see, I had to make a rule. Pardon me. I had to make a new rule for myself because normally what happens with the death pile is I might pile up 50 pairs of jeans and then as I'm doing them, I get sick of getting the lint off the black ones. Or I can see, when I lift one pair off, I can see a better pair underneath. So I like sneak the better pair out. And so certain ones, like I've got 3 pair, and they're quite nice looking jeans. It's just that the brand's not great. They're Marvy, and they're not such a great brand. And they're sitting on top of the death pile now because that's what I used to do. And I can't, I'm up to them now. So my new rule is I'm not allowed to do that. I have to do it one at a time. So that's been good. So I'm doing the clothing. Yeah. The DVDs. I found another set of DVDs today. It's a box set though, so maybe. I mean, I don't know. I don't even know whether I'll bother listing it. Oh, well, I found a box set of VHS. I know. It's terrible, isn't it? Absolutely terrible. So, yeah, not being able to drive anywhere to go thrifting has probably been a very good thing because I have had a pretty big clean out. Dave says, like sands through the hourglass, so are the days. And romps of Rob, so are the days of Gigi's life. Exactly. Anthony says, but mostly I learned to curse in Russian. Oh, yeah, but didn't we all learn to curse in some language, didn't we? Yeah. Look, tell me, from UK to PNG to Oz, because I'm so sorry, but because you've been away on holidays, I've gotten a bit forgetful in my old age. What's your name? Because I can't keep calling you that all the time. And I can't keep not acknowledging your name. So please do tell me. I had a buyer tell me that the bag I sold them was the wrong measurements and that it was too big. So could she get a refund? But she can't send it back, though, as she is 70 and doesn't know how to. Oh, my God. I wonder how many times she's gotten away with that. Honestly. When they do the big story, like it does, it makes you think, well, yeah, how many times have you gotten away? Oh, well, wrong measure. It was too big. Yeah, she wants a refund but can't send it back. You don't get a refund if you don't send it back, love. Sorry. Especially not for something like that. Graham says, dragging me too. Liz. Hello, Liz. Hello. Evening, everyone. Just finished cleaning my new air fryer for fish and chips. Woohoo. Have no fish. Oh. So, fish and chips and something else. However, that was expected to happen after the week I have had. One of those weeks. Now, chips and pies for dinner. Well, that's okay. That is okay. Bigger pies or party pies? Party pies do well in the air fryer. Just don't leave them in there for too long or they will start coming out the top. But they do quite well. And don't take very long in the air fryer either. And put a bit of baking paper under some things. A lot of the stuff doesn't need to actually drain the fat underneath. Like, so if you're just putting in stuff in there that's got an air fryer that's already made, so it will air fry like crumb fish or something, put some a bit of piece of baking paper under the bottom, and then you can just lift that out when you're finished and pull it out, and yeah, it keeps it clean. My photos show all measurements too. Yes. Only way to go, I feel. Anthony says, no, I failed one, then took the other. Oh, okay. We didn't have a choice. Being such a small school, there was only one language teacher. Yeah, French. Why French? I do not know. But I can still count in French. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And I can have a basic conversation like, hello, how are you? Bonjour, ça va? So I can do that. And so it sounds really impressive. If someone says hello to me, I can answer them back. I just can't go any further. So, yeah. We learnt French and German. Yeah, weird languages to be learning. Like, honestly, yeah, French is not one of the languages that you would, I mean, I know French is thought to be the international language to learn, but realistically, it's not the most used foreign language today, I wouldn't think. Anthony says we had Italian, French, Spanish, German. Oh, and Mandarin available. Wow. That's a lot. Must have been a big school. That's all I can say. Peachy says, I think the only language we should be teaching our kids is Auslan. Yeah, true. No point school selecting a language the kids will never use. Auslan at least opens doors. Very true. So true. So true. French in primary school, an attempt at French in primary school? Crikey, mate. And attempted Japanese in high school. Whoa. Although teachers decided I was probably better using that time on other schoolwork. Neither other work was done or learning Japanese. Yeah. Sandra says, my friend also found a half-brother and a sister recently. Nice. Very nice. Is she pleased she did? Does she like them? I hope so. I hope so. I hope it went well for them. Gilmore Girls? No, it's I don't think I bought it in here. It's something to do with aeroplanes, like dog fights or something. So it might be all right. I think there's 3 DVDs in it. So yeah, maybe okay. Sandra says their mother used to live with them but left when her boy was young. Must have been pregnant too. Yes. I reckon myself in the next, like I'm going to say the next 10 years, there are going to be so many more, like there's just going to be, it's going to be chaos because you're going to have my generation who are getting into, age-wise, getting into thinking about retirement. They've retired, more time on their hands, let's do the family tree, and they may decide to do a DNA test. But then you also get, there's a younger, very curious generation of children, and I've got a son that's like that. And, I mean, that's how we found out about Colin, because his son does genealogy. And so those younger ones are going to do it, or they want to know just generally where their ancestors came from, because that you do get a breakdown of what areas in the world your family comes from doing it. So I think there's going to be, yeah, I just think it's going to be chaos. Rachel, of course, Rachel. I won't forget ever again, probably, maybe not. I'm old. You've got to forgive me. Liz says, Herbert Adams pies in the oven. Okay. And we'll do chips in the fry. Yeah. It's a bit hard to do. That's why I was asking, because it's a bit hard to do the bigger pies with the chips in the fryer. However, air fryer tip, if you are doing party pies, you can put the layer of chips down and then sit the little party pies on top and stick it in. Do it. Works well. Anthony says, too big, I've never heard any complaints. Oh, what are we talking about now? What did I miss? Did I miss something? I've missed something. I'm not going back to find out. Liz says, baking paper is a good idea. Yes. And apparently I haven't, my daughter was going to get me some and hasn't given them to me yet. So I've got to have another drink first. Hang on. That's it. My 2 studies are done. Whew, I'll have to go and get another Pepsi in a minute. So my daughter tells me that on Shein, you can get, I mean, I don't know what shape your air fryer is, but most of them are sort of roundish. Well, it's kind of like, anyway, they make special little pans that you can sit in the bottom made of baking paper, made of the same stuff, but they're the right shape and they just sit in. I, however, like to tear off a sheet of baking paper and stick it in so the sides are coming up. So when you want to get your stuff out, you just grab the bit of paper and pull it out. Makes it much easier. John says, I moved and had to learn German for only 1 month. Yep, I failed. Never had to learn another. Oh, that's the way. That is the way. But that's what they did back then, wasn't it? There was no pressure like to make sure that you completed your studies or anything. They would just keep moving you up until you finished that year, and then off you went. Graham says, I purchased parts for a car and they were wrong. Seller asked for car details. They said their supplier said I made the mistake and they offered me a 35% refund. I took a screenshot of their listing. Well, yeah, that's a good idea. So what's the end shot? Now, I was waiting for you to tell Rob, I had one of those today too. Today I worked to an INR case, item not received for the new boys and girls, from a sassy buyer. Oh, is she a relation of mine in Germany, which the item has been awaiting collection. Here we go. Since the 13th of December, demanding their item, with eBay Germany being useless. 2, not 1, but 2 people purchasing on guest account, then relentlessly messaging on their main account for transaction information, which I couldn't give. Yeah. Oh, dear. And finally, a negative from a DVD transaction from the 13th of November, banging on about a dishwasher part not fitting since removed. Oh. You have had a day, haven't you? Poor Rob. Rachel says, I use a silicon cake mold in my air fryer. Oh. Now, I hadn't thought of that one. That's a clever idea. That is. Especially like for chips and stuff. Who's cooked a cake in their air fryer? I want to cook a cake in mine because I resisted getting one for a long time. My daughter kept telling me, you need an air fryer, Mum. You'll hardly ever use the stove again. Get an air fryer. I don't need another appliance on my bench, Brittany. And then eventually I got one and it lives on my bench because I use it nearly every day. So I'm not going to put it in and out because I do so many different things in it. Liz says, I'll have to try and remember the party pie and chip trick. I'm a fan of party pies. Yeah, me too. No cleaning is good too. Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. Jen says, how can you tell if a buyer has used a guest account? What's a guest? Oh, guest account. Guest account. Yeah, it'll be a guest account without a name, won't it, Rob? Do tell. Aussie Graham says, Aussie Nurse Flipper, end shot, they offer me more, but I waited and eBay gave me 100% refund. Well, lucky you. Very good. Jen says, guest. Yes, guest. Anthony says, I had a buyer send me a photo and a long story about being on the pension when I just started. I just refunded the buyer and they could keep them. Yeah. Oh, look, it's hard, isn't it? Like, I've had a few sub stories with people wanting a cheaper price when they want to buy something. Oh, my son is... my son's disabled and he really loves this and it would be just wonderful for his birthday, which is coming up. Like, that may be true. I do not know. However, my grandson has issues too, and he is officially classed as being disabled. So I do not need you to use the sub-story on me. Just tell me, do you have a better price? And if I can do it, I can do it. If I can't, I can't. Yeah. Rob says, I use the silicon cupcake molds to cook weeks. Ooh. Do they cook them runny? I need to know. Can you do them runny in there? I'll cook them like that if you do. How long? How many minutes if they're runny? But it says, what's on high rotation in your air fryer? In my air fryer? Lots of things. So generally if I have to heat food up, I will use the air fryer. And so I tend to cook, most of the time I cook a meal, when I cook a meal, it's going to be for at least 2. So there's always a leftover. I even heated up, get this, I even heated up spaghetti bolognese in there the other night just to see if I could. But when I have spag bowl the next day, because it's always good the next day, I like putting the cheese on top, but it's a mix. It's the cheese that you get, but it goes golden crusty brown on top, like it's a mix of 3 cheeses. And I put that on the top. It makes a beautiful crust on the top. Bloody beautiful. So that was good. Look, I've done the chips. I've done the party pies. I don't need a lot of chips. Chicken, I do a fair bit of chicken in mine. I don't mind. Chicken Kievs are wonderful. It's great for chicken Kievs. Even like, doesn't matter whether they're fresh ones or frozen ones. It's very good for that. What else do I normally cook in there that is frequent? I'll put stuff like when I cook toast, if I want to melt cheese, like make a grilled cheese, I'll finish it off in the air fryer. Graham says, I purchased an air fryer 3 years ago and used it 0 time. Oh, you should try, Graham. Let me tell you, I refused to get one for the longest time, but it's the best thing. I thought that was going to be those shit hot, but that's not. SC, what's that mean? SC, the screech at the order details saying they can't. Oh, is that what you started to type? They screech at your order details saying they can't find their information. Yeah. Oh, you have it a day, haven't you? Rachel says some buyers are crooks. Yeah, they are. I mean, look. So I was talking to someone the other day, and I mean, quite honestly, if you're sending stuff, like say you're sending DVDs untracked, right? There are going to be people that are automatically going to say they haven't received it. And you're going to have no choice, but luckily it's going to be a low-cost item, but you're going to have no choice but to refund them. However, I guess the thing is, well, you hope that even though you've had to refund them, you hope that eBay has put that as, I mean, you've got to report them and all the rest of it, but you hope that they will eventually get rid of those buyers. That's your only hope, is that each time that happens, that's one more mark against their name. Anthony says, must be my buyer. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, some of them are just, like, some of the things are so ridiculous. And so my friend Carmel, she's been taking me down to the post office a fair bit, but she was asking me to fix up someone was wanting to buy her car fridge on Facebook Marketplace the other night. And I took one look at it and I said, oh, Carmel, what did you say to them? They said they'd take it. What did you say to them? She said, I said, yeah, when are you coming to pick it up? Their response to when are you coming to pick it up is, can I have your PayPal? Can I have your bank details? I said, don't give them the bank details. If anything, give them the PayPal, which she did. And then, I don't know, there was some other answer. I said, it's a scam. They're just trying to scam you. And what's going to happen is they're going to say that it's a gift and they need you to include some gift cards. But anyway, while I'm telling you that story, she gets a message from them saying, we can't confirm that this is a business account. It won't go through. Our bank can't transfer the money for it because your account is not a business account. And I said, block them straight away, because what's going to happen then is they are then going to say to you, so that we can confirm it's a business account, we need you to deposit some money into our account, and then we'll just give it straight back to you when we pay you. Yeah. I've seen them all. Roast pork. Oh, yeah, roast pork is so good in the air fryer, isn't it? Yeah, absolutely. Hang on. Graham says, cold spag bowl, I presume you mean, on toast. Yum. Yeah, it is nice, isn't it? Yeah. I don't mind the old cold spag bowl sandwich, actually. Twigs. Hello. I cook bacon and sausages in my air fryer all the time. Do you? Oh, yeah. I mean, I haven't cooked any bacon yet, but I have got some, and I've been thinking it would be the go to cook it in there. But then you see, the reason I haven't cooked it in there is because I have bacon and eggs, and I like my eggs runny. So normally I do them in the frying pan so that I can make sure my eggs are right. So, but yeah, hey, if I can cook the eggs, Rob, in the slow cooker, I will do them that way. Rob said they yell. They yell. The details at you from the email they used for the guest account. All they have to do is log in from that email. Yep. Yeah, they yell. Indeed. Vaya says, I've only been selling since 2022, but I've never had a dodgy buyer. What?
Didn't you get any when you first started? Didn't you get people sending you offers and then trying to get you to message them off the eBay platform, wanting to, send me an email, blah blah blah. I can't believe you didn't have any. How'd that work? Rob says those buyers weren't. They were just worried about not seeing the transaction. There is little you can do apart from direct to eBay. The German one is 99.99, definitely is. Yeah. Yeah, you can pick them. Peachy says, where is the craziest place you have sent them off? Oh, I sent a doll today. Not one of my newer black pickaninnies, black babies. I sent one of the Fijian ones with the grass skirt, with the purple grass skirt. I sent one of those to Qatar. Would you believe? Doha, Qatar. Like, that's the first time I've sent something there. So that was weird, I'm going to say. Peachy says, I sent one to a prison for people deemed unfit for trial. Whoa. Whoa, that's crazy. That's crazy. I think my probably the most interesting one, I'm going to have to go and get a drink soon because I'm getting a bit I think my most sort of best storytelling one is I had a McRobinson's, I think it was McRobinson chocolate tin, an vintage chocolate tin, and the lady contacted me and said I didn't have international shipping turned on then. This was the first time I did international shipping, and asked me would I be able to ship it to Georgia, this place in Georgia, because this tin had begonias all over it, and it was their annual begonia festival over there, and she was in charge of doing all the prizes for a blind auction. And so all the prizes have something to do with begonias. And she said they will just love this and love the fact that it's come from Australia. And I was pretty excited about that. Brendan says pork belly or duck breast. Oh, pork belly would be good. Haven't had any pork belly for a while. Rob says the whites are runny too, so no. No, that's not going to work. No, the whites have to be cooked. It's not good if the whites are not cooked. Sandra says, my son likes cooking his bacon in the sandwich press. Yeah, that is the best place to cook it. It's very nice, quick, but incredibly messy. It is, because, I've tried putting baking paper either side of it and all that so that you don't have the mess, but it doesn't cook it as well. But, yeah, it is the best place to cook it, I can tell you that. It is very, very good. All right, it's time for me to take a minute. I'm just going to duck to the fridge and grab a drink. So behave yourselves while I'm gone. I just muted myself, but talk amongst yourselves while I'm gone for a couple of minutes. I shouldn't be more than about a minute, but talk amongst yourselves. Actually, I've just rethought that. I might just go and pat him in the nose while I'm gone, because then I won't have to go back later, because it won't be long before I will have to go pat him in the nose. So maybe I'll be 2 minutes. So talk amongst yourselves now. Bye.
I'm back. So I thought I better leave the microphone off while I blew my nose, because I'm pretty sure you didn't want to hear me do that. That might not have been fun. But yes, I've patted my nose, and got a can, and I have a new drink to put in my can tonight. Something different. So we'll give it a test run and see what it is like. What do you reckon? I should be able to get one of these alcohol companies to sponsor me, shouldn't I, for Friday Night Live? I reckon. Or, well, I mean, at the very least, I can claim a portion of my alcohol purchase as a tax write-off because I use it for my live stream. So I've got some Old Kentucky 15, State 15 bourbon. Kentucky whiskey, sour mash. So we'll see what it's like. See how it goes. I'm guessing it won't have the sweetness perhaps that the Captain Morgan has. But just a little bit of stirring, a little bit of ASMR for you all. If you know anyone that mixes drinks, buy them some of these. They've got glass, pardon me, stirrers, swizzle sticks. They're great. The glass ones, I really like them because you can put them in the dishwasher. Oh, hang on. Oh no. Oh, hang on. You have all been? Oh, you were all talking. Now I've got all this chat to catch up on. I'll be here till midnight. I'm still belching from the beer, which is why I don't drink a lot of beer, because it's a bit gassy. But it says I had sold the odd thing here and there on eBay since 2006, so I guess I didn't show up as a new, but yeah, true. You didn't show up as a new seller. Too true. John Roberts says, when I bought my air fryer, I cooked every meal in it for 1 week. Now I'm on a diet. You're cooking the wrong things in it, Rob. John, I mean, you're cooking the wrong things in it, John. Vaya says, Rob, 100% the scammers will hear my call and flock. Yep. Trig says, Dohan guitar. Yeah. yeah. Not quite spelt that way, but yes. QATAR. Sandra says, what did you send? A multi-tool peachy picker? Yeah. Yeah, to the insane asylum. Anthony says, I got heaps of international sales which were scams. Yeah. Wife just blocked anyone with a strike. Die down after that. Yeah, it takes a little while to die down. You get a lot of them for a start. Rob says, FYI for our American friends, our bacon is 1 million times better. I would agree with that. I think our bacon is better. Jen says, Rob, how do I know if someone is a guest? She's got fat finger disease tonight, or she's been drinking more than I have. Rachel says, I'm off now. Have a great evening, everyone. You too, Rachel. Have a good one. And she then says, Rob, UK bacon is far superior. Is it now? Oh, well, okay. Wouldn't know that. Didn't know that. Bea says, no, she left the jinx comment on screen, further cementing the jinx. Oh, no. Yes, put it out there in the universe and it's going to happen. That's what they say. Jen, you won't know unless they message you. However, they'll usually have a 0 for 1 feedback. 1 if you have auto feedback. Yep. Okay, cool, says Jen. Lovies. Jen says, thanks. Rob says, no worries, a buyer is a buyer as long as you follow the policies. You're protected if something goes wrong. Yeah, and I am protected with the one that I got my INR today. And so essentially they sent the address they put on there was a bit weird.
but they were obviously sending it to a forwarder to go to Hong Kong. But the address, the top 2 lines of the address were for Sydney, and then it had the Hong Kong bit underneath. And it's been over to Hong Kong and come back again, and now it's circling around in Australia Post somewhere. And yeah, they want a refund. But I got onto eBay after speaking with Octo, and yeah, they've said, no, you're fine. Your seller protections are in place, and it's been sent to the escalation team. And yeah, it'll be done in my favour by the sound of it. Rob says, from UK, do explain. Sandra says, I haven't had any problems with buyers yet. Still waiting. Hopefully won't get any. Yeah. Well, that's right. Well, I think you're past the point of getting scammers, I think. Graham says, when I started on eBay, I had a buyer send me his phone number in code. I think he was a reseller. Leather motorcycle suit, too small for him. Hammered me on price. It was well made, but it was a fake. Yeah. Rachel says, Rob, it tastes and looks better, and the texture is better quality. Oh, okay. All right. We'll believe you, but we probably can't get the bacon here to try it and find out. Graham says, I'm glad he did it for sale outside. Rachel says, hope I don't get too much hate from you Aussies. No, never. We love you, Rachel. Our little cannibal friend. Rob says, well, we'll need to taste to compare. Won't complain to tasting bacon. No, we won't. I wonder whether we can get UK bacon here in Australia. Someone needs to look that up. Sandra says the Pepsi has a sweetness. Yes. Oh, I better try it anyway. Let's see. It hasn't got quite the sweet smell of Captain Morgan, because I did actually crack. I mean, I didn't have any, but I actually cracked the top. So I didn't have to do that later. So we'll try it. Yeah, it's a bit more like a straight bourbon, but it's not bad for a bourbon. Like it's, yeah, quite acceptable. And it just happened to be on special today, so that's why I got it. And I thought, well, I've got to try a few different things. Twig says it's Bundy or nothing. Yeah, I don't mind a bit of Bundy either. Good old Bundaberg rum. Sandra says, good night, everyone. I've decided to go to work tonight. Might need the money. Oh, no. Well, good luck with work. I hope it's okay and not too busy for you. Be careful going up the stairs, please. Please, please, please. Graham says, Bentley double cast rum. Yum. Okay. A lot of rum drinkers. Rum. Rob says, money back guarantee is void if a shipping freight forwarding service is used. Yes, exactly. And it's their fault because I sent it to the address they provided. So I'm covered and I've got the tracking to show that it was sent and all the rest of it. So all good. Oh, Rob says, no, only allowed canned pork products. Oh, okay, into Australia from UK. Well, we're not going to be getting any bacon, are we then? So we won't be trying their bacon. Dear me. Well, I made it to 11 o'clock and I finally caught up on the chat. Yay! Does that mean it's time for me to go because no one else has got any questions or comments or things? I've just got to adjust my chair. I got them on the wrong angle. Rachel says, oh, hang on. Oh. Rachel says, okay, sorry, I haven't left yet. Off now. So you say, bye, Rachel. Jen says, is the mad cow still a thing in UK? Well, possibly. Maybe that's, I'm assuming to be something like that. Actually, it's quite interesting, isn't it, when you do shipping over internationally? I find it quite interesting, some of the items that come up with this item is it's not a clear through. There's a warning about it for something. Sometimes even hats like to go to some places. It's weird. Very weird. But, yeah, my doll went to Qatar, which I thought was, pretty good. I could actually show you. Hang on, if I can find it. Let me see. Okay. Oh, hang on. I'll get it up on my screen first, and then I will share it. Might be a better idea, mightn't it?
I reckon, seeing as I'm not supposed to be showing, you know, like addresses and such like that. Let me see. Where is she? There she is. It's a vintage ethnic islander tribal doll, 13 inches, made in Vanuatu. Oh, I've got a new offer for something. So we can play the offer game. Should Gigi accept the offer? We can. After I've shown this to you. Okay, share screen. Okay, here she is. There she is. So she's only a like it's that very lightweight, like it's not the good vintage rubber stuff. So there are a lot of these that were made I'm gonna say in the 70s and 80s as tourism purchases for when you went over to like the Fijian Islands and places like that. And so they would buy the dolls in. So they're not actually like the dolls themselves aren't made over in Vanuatu. But what they would do is they'd buy all the dolls and then the locals would make the little grass skirts and stuff for them. So yeah, $38 postage, which way more than the cost of the doll, of course. All right, let's see. What's that offer? Oh, I've sold something else too. I've sold something. I have sold a pair of jeans. And I have a new offer. But hang on, I'll stop sharing my screen. And then we will decide if I should accept the offer or not. You will all have to decide for me if I should. I will say it is one good thing about... Oh, I'm not even going to bother showing you. So the lady that does that crocheted the Willie and the Wilma beanies, she does hand dyeing on she buys secondhand, like, you know, garments from the op shop. And then she does all different tie-dye on them. Oh, I guess. Let me see. I'll share it again. So this is one of her creations. But, I mean, look, I've got it listed currently because I've been bringing the price down. It's currently listed for $15.90. And it's a pure linen tunic, which is such a shame for it to be so cheap. So they've offered me $14. So you will have to decide whether I should accept it or not. So the $15.90 will include the 30% off that I've got running at the moment, which is why it is a bit cheaper. Where are we? Christian says, what's on for the weekend? Weekend for me, I'm just going to be working as usual. No, so tomorrow my job is to take all the decorations off my Christmas tree and pack them away. And I have some rather nice special Christmas decorations. Every year I would buy my kids each a new decoration and I put tags on them to say this was the one I bought in 2002 or, you know, whatever. 2013, blah, 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 blah. And so they've each got their own collection of decorations that go on the tree. And then, yeah, so some of them I always bought really nice ones. So there's some nice glass ones and crystal ones and wooden ones and clay, all sorts of ones, resin, all sorts of things. So they all need to be packed up properly, wrapped up in bubble wrap and then put in boxes and then put in a bigger box. So that is the job. And I was going to pack the tree up, but I've decided I'm going to use that for my background, for my reading. So I'm not going to actually pack the tree up. I'm going to, which would be good excuse not to pack the tree up. Vaya says, question, it's too hot in my garage to have long photo and sorting sessions. How do I catch up? Oh, yeah. Can't wrangle a 3-year-old in the hot garage. I would. So, look,
I can't do long photo sessions either, Vaya, because of my back. So why don't you just do when you can, like try and do like I would aim to go out and do 2 to 3 at a time. And even if you only get one thing photographed each time you go out, if you go out 3 or 4 times a day, that's 3 or 4 new items that you've got the photos done for that you can list. You don't actually have to go out and do a long photo session, and especially like, in this sort of weather. That's my thought. Anthony says, was Octo's short video today low in volume? Was it now? No, I didn't know. No. Are you sure you haven't turned the volume down on your YouTube? I did, because so when he put the video up, the Dear Octo video up, I was going to thought, I'm going to have to message him and tell him that I can't hear it properly. And then I realised I'd actually turned the volume slider on YouTube actually down because I was having something just playing. Vaya says, too hot on days like today, Melbourne. Yeah, exactly. It would be. Oh, yeah, it would be. Hey, Rachel, you're supposed to be gone. You're not there not there anymore, Jennifer. What are you doing, Rachel? I thought you were off. Graham says, I thought New Zealand bacon was better. Oh, well, I haven't had New Zealand bacon either, so I do not know. Rachel says, I'm off for the 3rd time. Bye. Okay, bye now. We will see. We will see. Dave says, Anthony, yes, I noticed that had to put the volume. Oh, Octo. So there you go. Octo. He'll be asleep by now. So I will remember to tell him that tomorrow, though, that he needs to fix the volume. Because sometimes he forgets to either connect his earpods, which, because if he doesn't do it in the right way, then the microphone on the earpods records it rather than his actual microphone, or he has the microphone too far away. So that could be the issue. Rob says, Vaya, I will work at night, early morning, and have a nap in the day. Yeah. You can't have a nap with a 3-year-old unless they have a nap too. Graham says, I used to work with a woman and we called her Mad Cow. Graham, you can't say that sounds very sexist. I used to work with a woman and we called her Mad Cow. You should have said, I used to work with a person and we called her Mad Cow. Anthony says, Dave, I thought it was YouTube had to turn the TV way up. Okay, so it was a problem. Well, I will definitely remember to tell him that. Rob, you have to show us now. What? What are we? Oh, what? What are we showing? The Mad Cow? Or what am I showing? I've forgotten. Rob, I should try an early sesh. Yes. Yep. Take it. Okay, take it. How long have you had cost of goods? Cost of goods is 0 because it's the friend that does the crocheted beanies with the Willy on the back. So cost of goods for me is nothing. Like I'm doing these on commission. So from that point of view, it's not an issue. Probably had it listed since mid-December, so not quite a month, I'm going to say. But like I've got it listed. Well, she'd be getting it for $15.90. So $14 is not that much under, is it? Like I can't really knock that back. Rob says playing shops. Vaya, I work in my workshop, no insulation, metal roof, and it's can't say that word. It wouldn't be good, Rob. I feel for you. Anthony says, question, should Ashton keep doing Margaret or off? A bit of both. He should do Margaret because everyone loved Margaret. Everyone I showed Margaret to, they went into hysterics. They thought it was the funniest thing ever. So I think he should do a bit of both. He should still do Margaret. Definitely. In my opinion. That's in Gigi's humble opinion. John, counter offer $14.88. Oh, dear me. John says, but I would probably take the offer. Yeah. I mean, look, if I get enough votes to counter at $14.88, I will do it just because that's what the crowd wants, but we'll see. Yeah, hot. Octo's new video volume was very low at the start, hard to hear. Okay. I will have to make sure he's aware of that. Too late for that video, of course. Graham says, what did you all think of Octo's short? Yeah, he does a good job of his shorts, actually. What do you all think of my shorts? I like my short that's coming out tomorrow and the one I'm doing on Sunday. I actually discovered, so I've been using this program called Opus Clip, which you put your long form video, and I've actually been giving it my Friday Night Live videos. So it'll be interesting to see what it gets from this one. You put it in, and it actually, so I'm still getting from the video. You put the clip in there, and the whole video in there, and it breaks it down into short clips. And that's how we get our little clips for the shorts. Yeah, but I discovered that I apparently on Friday Night Live, I've said quite a few times, you need to put your big girl panties on or your big boy jocks on. Rob says, take the offer of sales as a sale. Oh, come on. Jen's saying 1488. John says, with the shorts, they seem to end early and we missed the last bit. Oh, do they? Oh, is that mine or Octo's? Or you think mine end too early? Graham says, the one today didn't make sense. I saw the 7 minutes video. Is that mine or Octo's? Hope that was Octo's. Brennan says, hey, John, that number is not funny or clever. All right, I'm going into review the offer. I'm going into well, it's done now, isn't it? Like, there's been how many votes for that? Is like 4. Most end too early. Okay, as in mine. Okay, I might have to make sure that there's a little bit of track at the end. Or you mean with what I'm saying gets cut off? Because that's meant to be that way. If it's what I'm saying. All right. Octo's vid. Right. All shorts. Okay, Octo's vid. The short one was just bits from the set. Yes. And that can often happen with Opus Clips because it picks out, like some of mine I've had to, like I haven't even used because they're weird as. Some of the other ones have been quite funny though. So like even the one of my best performing one is the one where we were talking about murder shows and stuff, and it sort of said like how the rates of motherhood has increased. There's a big increase in watching serial killer videos or something like that. That went really well. And then my cat one's been quite popular where I was telling about how she sits on me and wags her tail in front of my face. John says all shorts. Yeah, some of them do because if they use Opus Clips, it will just cut it off. I usually go in and edit them a little bit, so I hope mine aren't quite so bad. Brennan says, could we all please quickly Google that number? It's really unacceptable. Why? What's 1488? Oh, all right. I'm not doing that. I'm accepting the offer. Okay. Offer's been accepted. I'm not doing the 1488. I know better now. I'll have to keep an eye on that. I didn't realize that. I will have to keep an eye on that because sometimes that 1488 comes up. 88 comes up sometimes because I lower my prices by 1% every time I do an end and sell similar. I'll have to keep an eye out and make sure that if that does end in 88, that it's not 1488. Thank you. Didn't know that, Brendan. Appreciate that. My pleasure, because I didn't know. I didn't know. So, yeah. John says, now I understand with the shorts. I will add my own words at the end. Yes, correct. Correct. So the shorts are really funny because we really haven't been into the shorts thing, but shorts are a great way for a YouTube channel to get subscriptions or subscribers. And because like I need to get to 1,000 subscribers to get to the next level. And so it's just a matter of doing shorts every day. So, and like, if you want to make your own shorts where you have specifically made a script or something for a short, they're a pain in the ass to do. They really are. Like they're a lot more work for me than doing a long form video. So, yeah, I'm going to say that's why most people just use one of these programs, like an AI program that actually does all that work for you, goes through, selects the content. Sometimes this program is amazing, and it like the one for tomorrow and the one for Sunday, it's been perfect, selected perfect content and all the rest of it. But yeah, other times it's nutty as. Right. Invoices sent. Done. So yeah, Jen says she didn't know that either. No, I know, because when that sort of stuff wasn't around. I didn't know that. No, I would have just said because of the eight is lucky in numerology. That was okay, but yeah, glad to know that it's not okay. Well, we have gotten to the bottom of the chat once again, boys and girls. John says, no idea for me too. He was just pulling a figure out of his backside. And, yep. So, hot day. Now I'm on my third drink, so I think I will sleep quite well. Thank you, boys and girls. And Rob says, when you reply to eBay Germany with an SR, item number in title, and they ask for more information. Silly. Yep, yikes. Yeah, I agree, yikes. Anyway, I think it's time for Gigi to go off and finish her last drink and in bed. I think I will. I hope you boys and girls all have a wonderful weekend. And I hope you enjoy. I do hope you enjoy my 2 shorts for tomorrow and the next day. They're already scheduled up, ready to go. And I have already done my nugget for tomorrow. That is up. And it will appear tomorrow morning. I think I've got it set for either 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock. And it's a pretty good one, I reckon. So see you, boys and girls. I hope you all be good. And I will see you.